my name is Meerah and I'm a Lorekeeper in one of York's last libraries, and today I want to talk about Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I read this book in literally 3 hours and could not put it down even if I had wanted to. So I just need to talk about it. It was recommended to me because I wanted to read more like weird or Lovecraftian or Eldritch or cosmic horror written by women, indigenous women, and Madame did not disappoint. I'm really struggling on how to talk about this book without revealing spoilers, but I honestly don't think it's possible for me, so if you haven't read it, here is your spoiler warning. The book follows Noemi, a wealthy Mexican woman in the 1950s. She seeks to save her cousin from the clutches of a creepy, evil, British, immortal mushroom family in a spooky Victorian mansion in the Mexican countryside. Like I said, I could not stop reading this. It grabbed me in the fiercest chokehold, and I loved every second of it. Sylvia's writing style is so vivid that I swear I could smell the smells and feel the chills. But ooh, did this book stoke my hatred for racist old white men. Noemi, the main character, was very easy for me to relate to and follow along with. I was cheering so loudly for her the entire time. I hated Virgil from the beginning. Florence too, didn't trust either of them. I did feel bad for Ruth and Agnes, Catalina and Francis. I was super happy that Catalina and Francis made it out alive. Catalina did have TB, allegedly, which, you know, shakes fist at John Green because everything is apparently tuberculosis. The big bad in this story is definitely Howard. Ooh, I hated him. I hated him with every fiber of my being. Sylvia wrote such a good villain because I didn't even have to try to hate him. I just hated him. He murdered so many people and treated both the Mexican indigenous people and the women in his life like they were less than dirt. He made me throw up in my mouth a few times. So the end was very cathartic, to say the least. Virgil, Catalina's beast of a husband, was a close second in my please just stab him already list. Both of them were really gross and racist and sexist and rapey, and there were definitely a few scenes that made my skin crawl. And I am so glad. I was so glad when Catalina stabbed him. So I wouldn't even necessarily say that the gloom was the villain, because it was being controlled by a horrible sexist white man. I love the gloom as a concept, though. It did kind of give me the same vibes as Annihilation, being kind of like a sentient biological entity that doesn't really have motivations of its own. It just is. It just exists. Either I already have posted, or I will be posting very soon, next week, a video just about the gloom for my Exploring Eldritch Horror series, because I just loved it so much as a concept. It's just really cool, and Sylvia writes it in such a way that it's very easy to visualize. I'm just doing a horrible job of describing it properly, and I apologize. Francis is the only decent white person in the whole book. If I had one complaint about the book, it would be that there wasn't really an epilogue. I would have loved a short chapter set in Mexico City, where Noemi and Francis and Catalina are all living happily ever after, free from the horrors they've experienced. Maybe Francis could even go to university as a botanist like he always wanted to. Poor guy deserves it after a lifetime of abuse. I do understand why there isn't an epilogue, or the scene where Noemi's dad shows up with the police isn't in the book, because Catalina had a very legit question when she asked what do we tell them? They'll never believe us. I imagine that would be hard to write, so I understand. Anyway, if you're a fan of the Southern Reach books by Jeff Vandermeer or the movie Crimson Peak, I think you would really enjoy this, because I really enjoyed it. So 10 out of 10 from me, would highly recommend, and honestly I'll definitely be reading it again. I might even do a book rebind of my copy, because it's a pretty banged up paperback. I think that it deserves to be given a glorious second life. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you've read Mexican Gothic, let me know what you thought of it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and perhaps subscribe. You guys know the drill. Special thank you, as always, to my wonderful channel members. I appreciate you guys so much. Extra special thank you to Loremaster PwNaGeDOTexe. I hope you all have a nice day free from immortal, incestual mushroom people trying to infect you. And I hope to see you next time here in the library.